Welcome porters to another lore summary video. I am Fragile Boson, your logistics support officer. This lore summary will cover everything the game wants you to know about beaches in Chapter 3, right up until the large weather event that takes place at the end of your delivery to South Knot City. So to avoid spoilers, you should have completed the game up to that point. Let's go ahead and get started. So in Chapter 3, we're given a little bit more information about the beach, and a lot of it has to do with the way that the chiral network uses the beach. So the chiral network uses the beach to send large amounts of data, and we've talked about this a little bit before, but I think it just is good to summarize. Sending data takes time. Even in today's day and age, we can see that downloading or uploading large quantities of data takes a significant amount of time, but because the beach doesn't experience the passing of time, it's like the instant data is uploaded to the beach, it's there. And so instead of having this large gap of time to download, it's like things are just there. And in that way, Hartman has said before, it's kind of like sending data back in time. I think it's Mama that kind of describes it like this. The light that we see in the sky from stars was produced thousands and thousands of years ago, and routing data through the beach is like jumping to a point earlier in that journey, entirely cutting it shorter. We also know from Chapter 3 that they plan on using the beach as the storage location for the chiral network. It's not just for bandwidth, but it also is kind of like the server, if you could say it that way, for the chiral network. Amelie tells Sam that while there is a body to return to, a person can't just come and go as they please from the beach. But this may be because Sam is a repatriate more than just general requirements for travel to and from the beach. We see that, in this episode later, we see Higgs jumping, and Fragile has started jumping and can take Sam jumping, and we know that those jumps occur through using the beach, traveling through the beach. So there seems to be some ability for people to use the beach the way that they want to kind of come and go as they please, even though they have a physical body to go back to. So it's not clear that this is like a requirement for everybody, but maybe unique to Sam because of his position as a repatriate. Fragile at one point in time says that she's only allowed to travel through beaches that she knows and understands, which begs the question, allowed by who or what? Is this like an entity, or is this just how beaches operate? And that's a big question. I think in some ways, this will continue to feed into this kind of looming video that I'm making about the 5 floating figures and their representation in Death Stranding being connected to the elder things of Lovecraft's Dreamlands. I think that there is some sort of guiding entity that kind of supervises or administrates the beach, but we don't really know more other than these little illusions that people give, like Fragile, like when she says she's not allowed to travel through some beaches. Who is restricting her, or what is restricting her? Is it the beach itself, or are there some entities that are in charge of the beach? Because of Fragile, we need to understand that you can travel across large physical distances through the beach, but you can only do this to areas when the chiralium is, as Fragile says, when it's thick enough. Places, and she says that places that are connected to the chiral network have chiralium that's thick enough to jump between. And then we learn towards the end of Chapter 3 that something can cause the beach to become unstable enough that will not allow Fragile to jump. Now, Die Hardman says that chiralium has been increasing across the network as Sam adds more knots. And so we don't know if the beach becomes unstable because of the high amounts of chiralium across the board, or if those are completely unrelated. My guess is that beach usage has nothing to do with chiralium levels in and of itself. The chiralium only seems to be important when you're thinking about using the beach to travel, but not when it comes to simply accessing the beach. That's been all for this lore summary video about beaches in Chapter 3. I've been your logistics support officer, Fragile Boson. Keep on keeping on, and remember, tomorrow is in your hands.